Wow, it's been 7 months since I last uploaded. I wonder what's been happening in the anime community. Alright, glad to see nothing's changed. Hey, welcome to This Is, the anime review where I don't say anything intelligible, but I say it anyway because I think I'm funny. Today we're talking about Goblin Slayer, the most controversial anime of the last season. Why is it controversial, you ask? Well, I don't know. Why don't you go ask any of the other billions of videos made on that topic? So instead we're gonna talk about the actual anime. Holy fuck, imagine that. There are disgusting monsters that exist only to cause suffering. They steal our children. They raid our villages. They torment us in our sleep. That's right, you know what these things are. Weebs. But we're not talking about those disgusting and depraved creatures, we're talking about these disgusting and depraved creatures. That's right, goblins. And when there's goblins about, you need a slayer, I guess. And so enters our titular main character, Goblin Slayer. Now you might be wondering to yourself, well, why is he called Goblin Slayer? Well, it's a pretty long story, but the long and short of it is, it's because he slays goblins, you fucking dip. On his journey slapping goblins, Goblin Slayer is joined by his nameless compatriots, Priestess, Dwarf Shaman, Best Girl, and Lizard, whatever the fuck he is. Fuck. You may think this is a lazy and stupid naming scheme, but I beg to differ. You know what they say, if it's stupid and it works, then it's probably still stupid. All the characters are basically just stereotypes incarnate, which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing, but they don't really seem to have much depth behind that. You got the timid yet caring healer, the dwarf and elf that fight a lot, and the dwarf also really likes to drink. This is, that's a new one, I've never seen that one before. And I'm still not sure what the fuck that lizard does, if I'm being honest. Goblin Slayer, on the other hand, is like Guts from Berserk without any of the character. He's just really fucking angry all the time. I also never figured out why he so vehemently hates goblins. It's not like they raped and killed his sister or any. Oh no. That being said though, I do really like one aspect of the characters, and that's that they're not overpowered. They're pretty strong, sure, but definitely not overpowered. Instead of strength or skill being the deciding factor in these fights, it's more about tactics and strategy. It's not that Goblin Slayer is overpowered, it's more that he knows his enemy well enough to know how to fight them. And it's honestly really refreshing to see in an anime like this. The story in Goblin Slayer is more non-existent than My Will to Live, and that's really saying something. There's kind of a background story that the heroes take a sideline to. They're just kind of, you know, killing goblins and shit while some heroes out there saving the world or whatever. But it really doesn't show up at all, and it has virtually no effect on what actually happens in the show. That being said, if you're watching Goblin Slayer, it's probably not for the story. It's probably more that you want to watch a man attempt to commit genocide on a subhuman race, which is kind of fucked up if you think about it. But if that's what you're really into and you really just want to watch some goblins getting fucking murdered, then you know, Goblin Slayer does a pretty good job at that. They also don't make you feel guilty about wanting to see these goblins killed. Like, show me the goblins from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime getting murdered, I'll feel bad. You show me Hiltree from my critically acclaimed D&D podcast, Just Roll With It, getting murdered, oh man, I would be crying. But these goblins, man, fuck these goblins, they're depraved pieces of shit. Speaking of D&D, that's another thing I really enjoyed about this show, is the inspiration it took from D&D. Like, it's really not subtle about it. In the manga, actually, the adventure sheet is just a character sheet from D&D, and it's brilliant, I love it. They even fight a beholder in episode 8, and that really got my dick hard. Overall though, the show's pretty fun, I guess. Like, it's nothing to phone home about. If I had to give it a score between 1 and 10, I'd probably have to give it like 6 dead goblins out of 10. No, nothing great. Goblin Slayer wouldn't be happy about that score. That's like 4 not dead goblins, man. That's a lot. Anyways, I think that's really all I had to say about Goblin Slayer. It's not really too much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I feel a little bit rusty since it's been 7 months since I've made a video, but I tried, you know. Let me know in the comments if you want me to cover anything else from last season, because I don't think I plan on doing anything this season for a little bit, just in case, because there's a lot of good stuff coming out, and I wanted to give them a chance to actually come out first. Anyway, yeah, peace.